Okay, Jules, I don't want to ignore Sevilla here because I think,
No, yeah.
you know, for people who don't, they started out the season with that defeat against Valencia of all people.
Yeah.
They're in the situation now with Bono, who they hope to move on. They want to move on,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
obviously they also want to showcase him.
Yeah.
I guess Dimitrovic is gonna be the number one.
Yeah.
It feels like this is a team that's kind of always that shouldn't be in this situation, right? They should be the fourth force in La Liga alongside, Real Sociedad right now. But they're not.
No.
Money's always tight. It's always difficult. I guess it speaks to the broader imbalance of power. But then you have a game like this. And Lucas Ocampos, I thought was phenomenal last
That's
night.
the same, man. Him, Lamela. Every time I see them, I think like, come on. There's a point. But then they're such a pain to play against and things like that. And I think Sevilla have kind of overachieved for a long time due to, I think, good coaches that they've had. Monchi's working his magic on the transfer market, things like that, which was not the case so much in the last couple of years.
It wasn't always magical, really, right?
Yeah, certainly not at Roma, but certainly even not when he came back. Before then, now going to Aston Villa. But you're right, the fact that they are still sometimes, I don't know, it doesn't feel like they're that kind of power of Spanish football, which is strange. Because they should be right now. With all the money they've made through the years, when things were good with Monchi's magic, it's still weird that you still have Rakitic in midfield. I mean, come on, you've got Gudel at the back.
The guy who starts alongside Rakitic normally is Fernando, who is a year older than Rakitic.
Yeah.
You're right. Gudel, who's a midfielder playing at centre back and playing well at centre back.
Really well.
The other guy, Bade, seems to be a walking card, but they have two World Cup winning fullbacks, and one of them's on the bench because the guy keeping him out of the side
He's 45
is 40
years old. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. But good for them. I just don't know how well they're going to do this season. That's all. I think there's limits, and then Niziri might not even stay, to be fair. So,
how much do we read into the fact that on this day, basically by playing narrow, congesting the middle, right? So Kovacic, Foden, they're running into brick walls. I thought the City got almost nothing for most of the game down their right-hand side, because that was a side that Cole Palmer was on.
And that's not what he does,
He's not going to beat you one-on-one. He's not going to, and he had Walker behind him, which, again, he's got other strengths.
Yeah.
They had some more success on the left. We saw Guardiola there playing
really
at left
interesting,
back, which he's done before. He's also played right back. He's also played centre back. We all assumed he was coming to play centre back, but Pep pulling that one out of the hat. I thought they dealt well with Guardiola and Grealish on that side. Eventually, though, obviously,
the goal comes from there. Yeah,
the goal does come from there from the little Rodri chip, and they had that little diagonal chip. They had some success with that. This should be a moderate concern as well. I mean, leaving aside the absence of the creator in the middle.
Yeah, I thought they were very predictable, I have to say. And I know the goal is a good goal, but I thought it was very predictable. I think it was slow at times. Pep changed a little bit in the second half where Akanji did the stones roll more and they had the box. But even that, I mean, they had a lot of the ball, but didn't really do much. I think Haaland had 6 passes in the whole game, 15 touches. 1-5 and 1 shot, and that was it.
Yeah,
so the service was not there. Foden, as you said, he seemed lost to me. And I know he's not lost because it's a position he's played there before.
But he hasn't played there in a long time.
No, true. And with that density of players there, because clearly, as you said, Gab, that was the plan for Sevilla to defend against them. He just never found his rhythm, never found anything. And I think that's a problem. And really, De Bruyne's absence until December, I think it's a huge blow for them, because the creativity that you're losing, until someone like Paqueta arrives or whoever.
Or even if Bernardo Silva had been fit in this game, maybe they would have scored early, then they win 3-0. We don't have this conversation, right? Because the concerns are there.
You know where you ended up in that first half, especially. There's a couple of times where Rodri is on the ball, and Rodri is looking at Haaland as with a through ball. And this is not Rodri. Rodri is an amazing player, but this is not his strength. And even Haaland was frustrated that the balls that usually come from De Bruyne was not there when they could have been there. And I think that's something that Pep will have to work on.
So we talked about at the back, Laporte leaving. Do Do you think we're going to see much of the 3-2-4? Do you think? I mean, we've seen him play a back four in these early games.
Yeah.
Do we have any sense of 3-4?
Don't know, depending on when Stones comes back and when he's fully fit. What is happening with Ruben Diaz? What is he on the bench in the league? Is he on the bench again? Is he just maybe not fit or?
So what I was told, but I don't know, is some suggestion that because obviously preseason was quite intense.
Yeah.
Just physically to build up the fitness, especially for the bigger, heavier players like Ruben Diaz or Stones.
So he's coming back for Newcastle at the weekend.
Sorry.
He would be back for.
I would imagine so. Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
I think. I don't think. Like I think. I mean, sure, Pep wants to win the Super Cup and everything, but if there was a legit fitness issue, I don't think he would have brought him to Athens in that heat. You know, for just to keep him involved.
But I think Guardiola gives you another dimension. He looks so composed on the ball for a left footer, more than Ake, for example. I think, who's done a lot of improvement in his game with the ball, but Guardiola left back is, although for me he made a mistake on the goal, is good. He looked good.
All right, let's talk Laporte, because can we kind of we'll talk about him again before he disappears into the sunset or sunrise of the Saudi Pro League. But what went wrong? Because I kind of feel this is a guy who arguably he had one season where. I mean, he was arguably the best or close to the best defender in the Premier League. He's comfortable on the ball. He's a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
What went wrong?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't think he knows himself. I mean, certainly the last time I kind of touched upon the situation, he didn't know why suddenly, because he was quite sudden, just lost his place completely in the team. There was, I don't know, was he... I don't know. Problem with Pep, maybe. I really don't understand what happened, because he was good on he was a threat on set pieces offensively for City. He was good. He made a couple of mistakes, and maybe those mistakes were too many for Pep, who's very unforgiving usually with his defenders. And they have so many, because Akanji, Ake.
Yeah, but sorry, you mentioned Akanji and Ake. Like, with all due respect, they are Akanji and Ake. Akanji, when he came in, nobody thought he was going to be this good.
No, definitely. Ake, same.
Ake was the guy who kept getting injured, blah, blah, blah. His first season, Ake hardly played, even though I think he was fit for most of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the only guy who was there, the only defenders who came with a huge price tag were Ruben Diaz and John Stones, right? When you look at that unit. And I guess Walker.
Even
right
Laporte was
right?
very expensive.
So Laporte, Ruben Diaz, Laporte, right, left, boom,
perfect.
I
don't know. Something happened for sure, and we will know. But
do you think it's a Cancelo situation? Are there parallels with the Cancelo situation?
Maybe. Maybe his attitude changed once he was dropped and lost his place in the team, and Pep didn't like it. But it's a really strange one. Really
and are you surprised that he chooses to go to Saudi rather than saying, "Look, I've got a couple years left. Let me go on loan somewhere in Europe." Or even I'll take a pay cut or
surely
whatever.
In Spain, he would have had clubs. In Italy.
Anywhere, yeah.
Surely. A player of his caliber, I think, and his talent. So really surprised by that move. From his point of view, the City takes that kind of money for him. I've got no problems. And I think the Saudis have been a blessing for a lot of clubs in terms of who they went to buy and all of that. But from him to agree, I was a bit surprised.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.